Ladies and gentlemen, in this video I'm going to be talking about the beach amplifier. But before I get into that, I just want to say a couple things. Is that remember that you can always join my Discord server. In my Discord server, this is where I will be most active, right? And you can interact with me and other fellow community members, and there's over between 400 and 500 community members in there, so it's a pretty decent amount. And also, before I get into the beach amplifier over there, I am also going to talk about the bridge, right? I did the previous video on the bridge, and I've already updated the descriptions to include some updates, but in case if you missed them, I'm just going to go over them very quickly, right? And one of the updates is to make sure you put these two walls down. So it's very critical that you have these two walls over here where I'm editing, right? So make sure you have these two walls down here. And what's going to end up happening is that the regular husks are going to path over here, most of them, instead of all the way towards the north side. All right. And in addition to that, make sure that you have a half floor, right? I previously mentioned I didn't need a half floor, and it turns out I was wrong. I actually do need this half floor. So yeah, make sure you have the half floor, and make sure you have those two walls over there. And you should have pretty much all the husks pathing towards the south, which is what you want. Alright, and in addition to that, this is optional, but this is more or less for the mini bosses, where I have these two slants over here, right? And these slants is just so that when a mini bosses gets teleported underneath because they get stuck, they would path all the way around over here and then path up like this. So path up like this and either get stuck, which they'll do a teleport loop, or they'll just jump down here, right? And then they'll proceed to get stuck over here. So this is pretty much how I set it up. Right, and the slant over here is to ensure that assassin husks coming from the south side are able to path over here without any problems. All right, so this is for the assassin husks from the south, and this is for the mini bosses over here. Okay, and that's pretty much the only changes. I mean, if you don't do the changes, you'll have more husks coming in from the north side over there. That's pretty much it. So I just want to avoid that. Okay, so let's also go over to the beach amplifier. And the beach amplifier I'm gonna do a full video on, which I already recorded a few days ago. So yeah, let's go to that. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be talking about the beach amplifier. And the beach amplifier is an amplifier that I should update because of the changes I did on the beach east over here. Because of the changes on the beach east, I'm going to be pathing husks over towards the south, right? And in doing so, both the beach south and the beach east will be pathing the exact same place. And the reason why I'm doing this is strictly because of the mini boss dancing, right? The mini boss dancing over here back and forth, and this is what I want to be doing. All right, so that can be both for the east and the south side, dancing in the mini bosses. And with that change, I can also do a block off on the north over here, which is right next to the Wamp amplifier, because there is a spawn down here, right? And it can destroy some tiles over here as well. So I don't think I can place much tiles here, but I think this should be suffice for the Wamp amplifier. I've updated the description for the Wamp. Now for the beach amplifier, you do not have to do this update in particular. This is just an alternative that you can do. All right, so I'm gonna instead of calling it an update, I'm gonna do a beach alternative, where you can do this alternative pathing. All right, now I'm gonna go over this just a little bit briefly. On the beach south over here, they're going to spawn in this direction, right? They're going to spawn all in this area, right? And they're going to be pathing towards the east over here, right? Because there's going to be lots of block off over the middle over here. Once they path over here, they'll eventually get over here, which then there'll be some crowd control to launch them east, and then there'll be some things over here to launch them into the pit, right? And in the end, you want to launch them in the pit, so that when they get launched into the pit, eventually they'll get all the way back here, taking a very long pathing, and eventually leading up here, right? And once they get up here, and then they will launch them in the pit again. That's pretty much the design, is to keep continuously launching them into the pit. Okay, and then because of this design, we're going to need a pretty big lobber shield, as you can see, right? This is a big lobber shield to try to cover as much flinger spots as we can, right? And this is the goal of that. Now, I'm pretty sure I used to have a lobber shield over there, I think, in that position, but I removed it because it seemed like from some testing I didn't need it, but you know, I could be wrong. Alright, but yeah, that's pretty much the beach design over here. Alright, there's gonna be some block off, but I'll go over that. Okay, so let's go ahead and just destroy this, and I'll show you how to build it from scratch. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And I counted the amount of structures it takes to build a beach, and it's approximately like 270 structures. So it's not too bad considering you do have to build for both the south and east. But yeah, so the first thing I'm going to do for the beach amplifier is to build the design of the amp and the Wamp amplifier block off, right? So the Wamp amplifier block off, you just have a block off over here if you're going to be using the dancing mini boss technique. All right, I'm going to put a couple of wall darts on each side over here, and this is just to add additional damage. It's just to add additional damage for this particular tile that they're going to beat on. All right, and then I'm going to put a wall slant over here and a wall over here. This is kind of like the starting base I'm going to have is the Wamp block off over here. All right, and then the other side it's going to be just a wall, a slant, and flat floor over here. Okay, I'm going to put a gas trap over here, double crit with the effectoration. And I'm going to put a couple healing wall launchers, just a couple of these, 0 impacts, just for more durability. Okay, and once we have that, we can move on, right? And then they'll be being on over here, assuming that your camp placement is going to be pretty far over here, right? As you can see, mine's pretty far over there, and it's going to be facing this side, right? Okay. Another thing I'm going to do, right, is I'm going to build the pathing, right? I'm going to build the pathing, right, from here, right? I'm just going to, actually, I don't need this tile over here. So I'm going to build the pathing all the way up into here. Okay, now there's a lava bomb over here. Now I'm going to shift the lava bomb by placing this tile over here. Place a slant like this, and a wall like this. Alright. I am also going to put a wall over here. And I think this should be okay. I think I should still be fine with the lava bomb shift. Okay. I'm not 100% sure if I need this tile over here or I need this tile here, but I think I might need this tile here. Yeah, I'll leave this tile here. And yeah, I'm not going to need this anyway, so if it's just a lava bomb, then that's even better. Okay. So, as you can see, I have just built a pathway over here. Just a straight pathway like this to the amp, and this is where I'm going to path the husk. Right? And then we have a slant over here. I'm going to put a wall over there. I'm going to put walls over here too. Alright, so there's going to be 4 walls shown, just like that. Alright, and I want to path all the husks from the beach east to that spot over here because I'm going to block off this area, right? All this area over here is going to be blocked off, right? I'll finish the block off later, but this area is going to be blocked off. And the way I do that, right? The way I do that is I'm going to cheat a little bit, just placing this tile temporarily. And I'm going to use this half floor, right? If it was a full floor, this would be damaged by the spawn. But if you use a half floor, it won't be damaged. So this is how I gotta do it. All right. And I place this over here, and slant this up as shown like this. All right, and then remove this so that it can path on here. So essentially all I did is just makes this pathway as such, right, for the beach east. All right. And then the husk will be able to path on here, assuming that you have sufficient block off. The path up here, and eventually they'll go up to, you know, wherever you want. I'm going to continue blocking off the beach east over here. Flat floors over here, pyramids on here, the walls over here. Right, this is just standard procedures of block off. Slants over here, slants over here, And then I'm going to do the block off as shown like this. Right, standard procedures over there. I did not add a double layer over here. I did not add the layer over here because this is pathing away from the amplifier, so it did not need. In fact, it could be possible I might not need as much layer for this target area over here. But I've left it as such, right? In the future, I might start removing some layers over here just to save a little bit of structures. Alright. Then this logic over here is that because for my regular builds, I needed 2 layers on this hill over here for them to path successfully over here. Alright, so with that logic in mind, I am going to do block off like this and like this. Oops. And that's the layering over here, right? So I'm going to do that. Matching it with that wall over here, even though this is a wall there, but this is actually acting as additional layer. Alright, and that should be good. Alright, should be good for this. Alright. So with that in mind, I will move on. Alright. Now, eventually I'm going to launch them into the pit, right? So what I'm going to do is going to build the block off for the pit so that they can cycle back. Alright. Now, if I left a hole over here, there's going to be some hosts that want to do the U-turn over here. But if I did this instead, make a pole, flat floor. This is too long of a pathway for them to do the U-turn. Right, coming in from here. However, this is going to also allow the assassin husk from the pit to path towards me when I'm camping up. Alright. And essentially, I just want to get all the husks pathing that way. So I'm just going to block this off as shown. Right. Just like this. Right. And they want to path all the way over here. But even this, you're going to need more layers, right? So you just need one more additional layer. This is the layering I do. I think that should be sufficient, right? Just like that, right? And then you just need to double layer it. Okay, so far so good. Actually, hold on. I need this over here. I just remembered. Yep. Alright, good. I just need to double check. Yep. Alright, 3 walls there, 1 wall there, and this one's empty. Alright, so we are good to go. Now I'm going to do the pathing. Right, I'm just going to show you where the pathing is. Alright, so essentially I want to path all the husks towards this area over here, path them over here, and eventually get over here. Right, and this is the ideal pathing I want them to go to. Put a wall here. Alright, and I'm going to start trapping it. Alright, so I'm going to put these poles over here just to prevent the phasing. So I think we can start all the way over here. Might even put a pole here, but it might not be necessary. Okay, so I'm gonna put down the launcher. So I'm gonna put this as healing wall launcher here, healing wall launcher here. I don't want to put a wall launcher here because if it goes too far, it might do some weird things. So I'm gonna put a wall spike here. I'm gonna leave this one empty because I don't think I have problems with this one being beaten on. And I'm going to use the wall launchers here. So these ones over here, I'm going to use the, this one I can leave, I guess. This one actually I could use the, you know, yeah, I can use the three times impact double reload. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll use the 3 times impact double reloads over here. And this one over here, this is a kind of a new thing I'm doing, which is working really well. Whereas this one will launch over there. This is either for building up impact or just delaying them more. And this one over here will launch them into here. And then I want to chain launch them all the way into the pit somehow, right? And I'm going to figure out how to do that, don't worry. right? So since it's double reload, triple impact, I'm going to put this double reload, triple impact as well, and then figure out a way to chain launch them into the pit. All right. But we'll worry about how to deal with that. If you can't figure it out, then you can also do the, you don't have to do that. All right. Now I'm also going to be doing this over here, right? And this is going to get them pathing on the edge, right? I want them pathing on the edge so that they can stagger down into here. All right. And another important thing is that if there's going to be smashers, right? If there's going to be smashers on the beach south, which is going to be pathing them all the way over here, there's not much room for them to get staggered into the pit, right? So what I want to do is to make sure that they actually get into the pit, right? So the way I do that is the first one is going to be the wall launcher over here, double reload, triple impact, right? This is for regular husks. And the next one is going to be for smashers exclusively, right? With the wall light, 4 times impact, right? 4 times impact, and the single reload over here. And this will guarantee to get them down into the pit no matter what, right? And it seems like I have more success with this than the wall launcher, even though that this might cause some husks to get in somehow and damage the amplifier. But there's so little husks that happens. There's so little husks that for that to happen that it doesn't really pose a threat. All right. So keep in mind that using this wall light instead of the wall launcher may have some small husks leaking, but it's very, very, very little. Right? There's very, very little, and they don't happen that often. Right? But it's going to be a lot more stable for the smashers, because if a smasher gets in, they start charging everything, and then they bigger design on the amplifier, and yeah. Right? But if it's just 1 or 2 husks coming in, then that's okay. All right, I'm not really that worried. Okay. Now let's carry on. Now on this floor over here, I want to use a wooden floor spike. So I'm going to use my legacy ones, but you can use whatever ones you got. This one over here, I want to use a double reloader, triple impact for crowd control, and I'll figure out exactly what to do with this, right? But I know for sure 100% that the floor launcher over here, I need to have high reload because I really want them to get into the pit. Once they get in the pit, then I'm okay. I could just use this as the chain launcher to get them in the pit. Which, speaking of which, I can just start doing this over here a little bit early, right? Not a problem. I may even put this in the pole just to be extra safe, but yeah. And over here, I'm going to start using some of the wall launchers over here, right? So I'm going to use, maybe I may even use the 5 times durability ones. Yeah, sure, why not? So 5 times durability over there. I might use 5 times durability over here. And yeah, might not need it over here, but it's not too big of a deal. 5 times durability over there. 5 times durability here. 5 times durability here. And this one, I guess maybe if I want to, I could just use the double reloaders over here. And I'm going to use some of the higher durability wooden floor spikes. I'm going to use 2 of them just in case, but you don't have to. And this one I'm going to leave empty, right? And I used to not have a tile here. And it seems like maybe sometimes they blow up here, the propanes. I'm not sure why, and I was thinking maybe because I didn't have the tile here and it didn't path well enough. So yeah, I put a tile there and it should be okay. Alright, so far so good. Now another thing to keep in mind is that sometimes husks may phase through the walls. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a wooden floor spike here. A wall spike here, in case that they want to path towards me for wherever I am, right? And they want to hit on this wall, so that's a floor spike for that. And the floor spike over here, wall spike over here, and this is just in case they phase through from this wall launch over here. All right, so there's that. And if they want to path towards the amplifier, path towards me, then you know this would be the best option for that. Okay, so far so good over there. And I think overall the tunnel design should be good to go. I don't think I missed anything. Alright. And so yeah, this should be the basics of the tunnel design. Now the rest of it's going to be block off, and lobber shield, which is a very expensive part. Right, and that's the part where it's going to kill you in terms of the structure costs. All right, but we know you got to do what you got to do. I'm going to put the wall over here. So I'm going to start off the block off in this side, right? So I'm going to put the walls over here just like this. And we're going to continue on. Wall over here. Slant, wall, slant, wall, slant, wall, slant. Very easy standard procedure over here, right? Slant, wall, slants. And then I'm going to do a slant, wall, slant, wall, slant, walls, wall like this. Slant, slant. All right, standard procedure like this. I'm going to put a wall over here because in terms of AI pathing, they might want to path on the other side. Yeah, they might want to path on the other side based on the amplifier design. So I'm going to put a wall over here as a safety precaution. And as usual, wall, slant, wall, slant, wall. Right, and I'm going to put a slant over here with the walls all surrounding it like this. All right, so standard procedure over here, nothing too crazy. All right, and I'm going to proceed to do more layering over here. All right, so I'm going to start off over here. I'm going to start here. All right, so what I'm going to do is this wall is going to be important for the smasher that may spawn over here, and they might want to think, hey, I want a path over here. So this acts as one additional layer, and they have to go over here, which is then closer to the amplifier. Once they're in this tile, right, this one tile difference makes all the difference for them to path towards the amplifier and towards the block off, right? So make sure that we have them path in this tile. This will act as one additional block off. All right. And then I'm going to do this kind of block off over here, right? So I'm going to block off like this, right? Put a wall over there. So far I have that wall over here as block off, and this flat floor block off, and the walls over here. And then I'm going to do some block off in the diagonal path thing, kind of block off. So pyramid here, walls all surrounding that. And then slant this like this. All right, so far so good. All right, nothing too fancy. Wall this off like this, and because this is over here, pathing over here, they have to move backwards. They have to move back south, which is also acting as additional block off in a sense. All right, and then slant this like this, wall like this, slant like this, and then slant like this over here. Whoops, that wasn't a good position to kunai storm. But yeah, that's pretty much the essentials of how I'm doing it. Just going to make sure, double check to see if I'm doing layers. Alright. This should be pretty good. Alright, and that's pretty much the block off on that side over there. Okay. Now, this over here, I did remove some layers just for this beach, because this over here is all that's required for the valley amplifier. You might even be able to get away with some of these removed too. But you do need layers over here for the beach. Alright. Now, I'm going to finish off the layering once I complete this area. So this is going to be kind of a special area over here where I do a block off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a wall dart over here, all the way up here, and this is where I'm going to have the assassin husk, particularly the flingers, path to. Alright, so I'm going to path them over here on this side, and unblock this pathing using this floor over here. Right, floor over here, and I'm going to do kind of like this kind of design, right? And I'm going to do, for the flinger phasing, because flingers can't phase, I'm going to do the floor launchers over here, 4 times impact. Slant like this, all the way across. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. I think I need to do 3. Yep. So you can see over here, that's the lobber shield required for the flingers. Okay. Oh, and I also need one wall over here. That's walls are very important too. And I also need a slant over here, so it's actually that. Yeah. So that's the actual design. Yep. Okay. And what the flingers are going to do, they're going to walk over here, and there's actually a flinger spot in this corner, right? So they can actually fling from this corner, but this is going to be a freeze trap. And this freeze trap, I think I can probably get away with just this over here, the double reload, triple impact. And the reason being is because Beach gets attacked from two different sides, so you can afford having low durability over here. I'm going to put a reload dynamo, on each side over here. And the wall dart. And the dynamos with the wall darts will kill the flingers very well. Alright. So that is this design. Now keep in mind the amount of layers that this design is actually giving you. So this is one layer over here, right, for the spot. And this is 2 layer over here, or 2 layer over here, and the 3 layer over here, right? So this is 3 layers in total here, right? This is a total of 5 layers over here. We're going to add 6 layers over here, and we have 7 layers over here. All right, and the reason why I don't have it all the way over here is because this is a longer pathway for them to get to the amplifier. All right, so that's why I have this kind of design. Okay, and this should be the sufficient layers for the beach south area in terms of the side pathing over here towards the valley amplifier. Okay, now that should be it for that block off over here, and we can move on to the part I say that is a little bit wonky is the lava shield, but let me design the amplifier first. Actually, let me design the amplifier. So the amplifier design is going to be something like this, which I hopefully have memorized. I have these walls over here, walls like this. I have a wall in this position over here with a slant. This is, so that's wall, so they have the 6 walls over here and a slant on that position. Wall this, and wall this. And I think that's it. I think that's the design. Yes, I'm pretty sure. That's the design. And the wall that they're gonna beat on is over here, and then they start doing the dancing. You know, they start doing dancing, and that's pretty much how it goes. All right, and then we're gonna have to design the lava shield, right? The lava shield, there's only one tile that's connecting to it. All right, and that one tile is actually just right over here. So place a tile over here, and you should be good to go. Actually, there's also another tile up here too. So there's 2 tiles. Yeah. All right. So put those 2 tiles over here. 1, 2, and this is where we're going to start building from. Right. Put this over here. Put this over here. And then we're going to make a little roof on the shield. It's the amplifier itself, right? So just like this, we're going to start off with. All right. Okay, now I'm going to start building it up from here, right? So build up from there. Wait, actually, hold on. I'm going to build up from here, sorry. I'm like looking at it wrong. And yeah, I don't memorize my lava shields. I actually just cheat and look at the pictures, because, yeah. So, 4 over here, just like this. So we're going to make a 2x4. 2x4 as shown there. Alright. And this is where I'm going to do a little bit of, I guess, cheating in a sense. Where... Yep. Alright, I can see exactly what I'm doing here. Okay. Triangle piece. So I'm going to put those 2 triangle pieces as shown there. Alright, and don't be alarmed why I'm doing this. Slant it like this, slant it like this, and slant like this. Alright, so those 2 triangle pieces with those 3 slants. This is for this floor launcher over here. So this wall launcher will launch them over here. This full launcher, 3 times impact double reload, launch them all the way there, possibly into the pit. If they don't launch into the pit, this low impact wall launcher will launch them all the way over here. And it's really critical that some of these wall launchers have low impact so that they don't fling over to the other side over here. Alright, so this is where that design is from. Alright. Okay, and then this floor launcher over here will launch them all the way back towards the east. Alright, okay, so with that in mind, I'm gonna do a slant over here. And this over here. So this little slant and that slant. Now, because of this weird design, I'm gonna have to just do this over here. I think I'm gonna even, yep, do that. So we're gonna have a triangle piece here, triangle piece here, and the wall over here, right? And this is just to close this area, so we close the lava shield. Okay. And, alright, so we can move on. Wall over here, wall over here, and I'm also going to close this off on this side too. And I just don't want to make sure any husks are phasing through the roof, or collisions can happen, so I don't want that to happen too. Excuse me. I'm going to put 2 walls, flat floors over here. Alright, it's kind of a weird lava shield design. And then I am going to do this all the way across. I think I'm going to do it all the way across here. Yep. And then 2 flat floors here. Yeah, I think I had something like this. Alright, so you can see like a 2x6 lava shield area like this, right? And we have the 2 flat floors over here. Alright. Let me just go over that one more time on this angle over here. Right, and that's pretty much how I designed the lava shield on that side. And this lava shield is really important for this area over here, because this area, a lobber could possibly lob from, and we just don't want that to happen. So we have a lava shield for that. Now I did say lobber, not flinger, because a lobber and flinger throwing they work differently. Alright, so that's a pretty good start so far. Alright. And what I'm going to do is do this little thing where I did in my beach video. It's kind of like where I just like pretty much do this. Where it's kind of like trying to cover up the corners here on the terrain. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that over here. Alright. This is probably the only thing I actually memorized from the video. I think that should be it for the area. I just like kind of followed the terrain over here. And I build pretty much just copy paste, just like go around this layer and just do it for one tile over. So I'm going to do this, one tile over, going on each side like this. Just keep doing this repeatedly. And I think I did this over here to help connect. And then I did this over here to help connect. And then over here to help connect. And here to help connect. And just like keep connecting it over. Just keep connecting it over, right? And that's pretty much how I've been trying to design these lobber shields, is to have it keep connecting over. And this opens up the maximum area. Right, this opens up the maximum surface area that the lobber shield can cover by doing this. Right, and then at this point it becomes a debate about if you need that little extra height, right, for the lobber shield. Right? And for my testing, it seems like I need it from over here. As you can see, I have it from over there. I have it here, here. And I have it, I think I curved it up over here. Here. I think I had it here. And this is the one I debated if I need to have this or not, but if I want to be extra careful, I can probably just put it down there. But might not be needed. But yeah, so far I never had problems with it, so I'm just going to leave it out. Right, so far I haven't had a flinger try to fling from here, which is really odd because I thought they would, but maybe because of this terrain over here, it's making the distance shorter. But yeah, that is the lava shield design over there, and actually the entire beach designed in general, right? Yeah, I don't think I missed anything. Yeah, I think though in my design I did use these instead, but that's still something very minimal, but I don't think that really matters too much. But yeah, that should be design of the beach. This is actually the first time I think I didn't make a mistake, but yeah, I'm gonna upgrade everything to tier 3. Oh, I guess there's a mistake. I'm gonna upgrade everything to tier 3 and see you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and I think I missed a couple things actually, saying that I didn't make mistakes, but you know, we all make mistakes. And I think the things I forgot is the wall launchers over here. I'm going to put wall launchers over here. These are just going to be healing wall launchers. And this is just for the assassin husk. And then I'm going to put a sand wall on this wall over here. Again, assassin husk. And there is also husk phasing that can happen in here. So I'm going to put a dynamo, right? And a dynamo I think I'm going to use, this one. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. And everything else has been exactly the same as before. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and run this a few times just to make sure it is okay. But yeah. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I am back, and this is just going to be a little bit of an update after the recording, because after I built it, I do a few runs and see if I need to do any changes. Alright, and one of the changes I'm going to do is adding these 2 flat floors over here. It seems like slobbers sometimes break on this lava shield, and I'm thinking because there is a small gap in here. There's a small gap in here, and I think it could be due to that. So I'm going to put down these 2 flat floors, and I think that should solve that problem. Alright, and in addition, there's also the Wamp amplifier over here, which I had the health spikes on the back, and then there's healing wall launchers at the front. So that's going to be healing, and it's going to be a little bit more health, right? Because I do notice sometimes the husks do, it's very rare, but sometimes they do break on it, right? Or the health gets really low. So I'm thinking maybe I could try adding more health, or possibly I could even add more traps in here somewhere, like the ceiling electric fields. Because these and these can get destroyed by the husk, right? From the husk spawn over here. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Alright. But yeah, there's going to be some other changes I do for the other amplifiers, but I'll go over that. I think maybe at 3,000 subs, I'll go over all the changes I did for everything. If you want me to go over that. But I think the next video I might do Ridge, but I'm still not 100% certain on that mini boss testing yet. Or I could do the Wamp amplifier, because the Wamp amplifier seems to be the one that causes the most issues for everybody. And even though the pathing has been pretty much exactly the same, I have done changes to it since my video. And my video is like 2 to 3 months old. So it could be time that I make another video for it, right? But most of it's been pretty much the same, right? Just slight little additions that I made to help with little things like the little tire traps I added recently, a little bit bigger lava shield compared to my video. Yeah, there's a little bit here and there. But I think Wamp amplifier might be a good one that I could do, because it does require a little bit of precision when it comes to building. Alright, so that'll be it. And as always, have fun building.